Like, the first couple of years of sobriety was great.
Yeah.
They call it the pink cloud. I don't know if you've come across
never heard that.
Like the pink cloud is early sobriety, where everything's amazing. You found this new lease of life. You're healthy. Your mind's changing. You're learning, and you've got the buzz of like being in recovery and being sober. And you float on that cloud for as long as you can, but what comes up must come down.
Right.
So eventually the pink cloud does wear off. My pink cloud lasted for 2 years, I think.
Okay.
And then I had a massive breakdown.
Right.
Everything caught up with me. I was still living with all the reasons why I drank, but I wasn't drinking anymore. So I still had all the self-loathing, the depressive stints. But I didn't have my main coping mechanism anymore.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to cope, and I wasn't coping, and I had this like full-on breakdown, and it was just like so confusing because I was like, I'm sober now, but I'm having a nervous breakdown. Like, what is going on? Like, I was working a normal job, and I almost lost my job, and I'm like, how am I still losing jobs in sobriety? And that encouraged that experience because I was in a dark place. That experience encouraged me to seek mental health support because I was like, right, I got myself out of this.
Yeah.
I'm not going back into that place, and I'm not doing this whole thing over again. I was like, I am out of the chaos. I respect myself. I love myself. I've made this commitment to be kind to myself. I'm not going back to that dark place. So, I sought out mental health support from like my local services.
Wow.
And then I basically called up every mental health service and said, hello, I'm having a breakdown. What can I do?
Yeah.
And I called up so many places, and I told them my history and everything that I'd been through, and, being sectioned and all my struggles. And I finally got through to the right people. I got through to a personality disorder department, and they invited me in for a 6-week mental health assessment.
Okay.
And then I had that assessment, and they were like, yeah, well, you've definitely got borderline personality disorder.
Right.
And I was like, okay, cool.
For people who don't know what that is, can you give it a little spiel?
Yeah. So borderline personality disorder is where one of the main symptoms is complete emotional dysregulation. You have very, very intense emotions, but your sense of self is so disconnected that you're not able to regulate them. You're not able to self-soothe. Your emotions are heightened, like times a million, but you don't have the tools.
Yeah.
To be able to bring yourself down to earth. Substance abuse is so common with people with borderline personality disorder. Because your emotions are so intense, and you don't know you can't
regulate them.
Yeah,
so you need something external sometimes to regulate them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got diagnosed with that, and then I went on a intensive course of therapy.
Okay, so you're having therapy, and it's like revolutionary, it sounds like, for you.
Yeah.
And you're kind of healing yourself, you're healing your core, right?
Yeah.
What does life look like at this point? Are you like,
I'm going up in the world.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
Because, no matter how better I get at coping with my mental illness, and then also my bouts of depression, I do get better at coping with them, but they still happen. You know? So life's not perfect, but it's doing well. Got a new job. I started going to a new gym. Shagged one of the coaches.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Moved in with him. Yeah. Tricked him into moving in with me.
Did you get free sessions?
No.
That's so rude.
I know, right? But now we're a couple. I do.
Okay, now you do.
Now he does lots of
But he was like, I want to lock this down before I give any free time away.
Exactly.
Yeah, fair.
So I meet Steph, and we fall in love across the gym. We move in together. I'm working for a creative agency. He's working at the gym. We move in together. We've got a flat. We're, building a life together. I'm stable. yeah, we're building this life together. Everything's fantastic. I'm like, so the therapy course I was doing was 18 months. I think I was about 8 months into it. And then I started getting migraines, which I've never had before. Never had migraines, only hangovers. But they're like not like any sort of headache I'd ever had. So I was waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning with a pounding migraine and then running to the bathroom and throwing up.
Wow.
Like immediately.
That's shocking in the middle of the night.
And this was happening regularly, like a few times a week.
Wow.
When it did start happening, before it was happening regularly, like it would be like, yeah, every few days. And then I went to see the doctor, and my GP diagnosed me with sinusitis because I had a lot of like pressure behind my eyes and in my forehead and stuff. And then they gave me some antibiotics and things were sort of getting better, but like the migraines were taking over my life basically. Like I was performing really poorly at work because I wasn't sleeping and and I had headaches all the time. And I'd kind of go to see the GP and they'd look at me and be like, "Oh yeah, no, you'll be okay. Here's some more antibiotics. See if we can get rid of the sinusitis and stuff."
Right.
And then it was horrible. I was really struggling. You know, when the headaches started or the migraine started escalating, they ended up being like every night.
Wow.
Every night, and it finally got to the point where I couldn't really see anymore.
Right.
My vision became blurred and I had double vision. And it got to the point where I couldn't even like walk around the house without Steph like leading me like around by the hand. So I went to the optician.
What are you thinking is going on here? Are you just like...
I thought I had sinusitis.
Sorry, quick chat GPT. Sinusitis. Like, I mean, that's not what you'd expect from sinusitis. And the doctors didn't go like, okay, maybe this is something a bit...
You know what? No. Because they would ask me, they were like, "Are you waking up in the middle of the night with a migraine and throwing up?" And I was like, "That's very specific, but yes, I am." And they're like, okay. It's probably sinusitis.
Did they know about your history, actually, of addiction out of interest? No.
No.
So you don't think there was any, like, weird biases going on of, like, well, this is what happens when you fuck your body for that long?
No, they didn't know anything like that.
Interesting.
I don't know, maybe they didn't want to worry me or scare me, but I mean, they should have.
Yeah.
Because when I ended up going to the opticians, they did a scan of my eyeballs, and then they were like, "Okay, we need to show you this scan. So here's a normal person's eye." And it had like the lens and stuff, and it was like a crisp circle. And they were like, "Here is your eye." And my eye was all like the lens was completely blurry. It was just this blurry blob. And they were like, "Your optic nerves are so swollen. You have to go to A&E, like eye hospital, right now." So Steph came and picked me up because I couldn't see. And then we went to A&E at the eye hospital. Yeah, I got there, and then they did more scans of my eyeballs. I remember sitting around and I could overhear the eye doctor on the phone, and I kept on hearing him say the word like neurology and like neuro and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, "Hold on, that's your head. Like what?"
Because at this point you're thinking like, maybe I'm going blind, or like my eyes are fucked, or...
Yeah. Maybe I just have sinusitis.
This sinusitis is a real bad one.
Yeah, the doctors told me it was sinusitis, they're sure. So, you know, I was kind of like, I wasn't panicking, but I was just like, that doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
And then, they were like, "You need to go to St. Mary's right now. You need to go to A&E. They're expecting you." And I was like, "Oh boy." So we got there, had a CT scan, and in the morning they were like, "There's a mass in your brain." And then they were like, "Yeah, it's probably a tumor." Like being honest with you, it's probably a tumor. And then I remember the doctor, Dr. Ryan, he was really nice to me. I remember him so well. He was like, we can't tell from just the scan, but there's a good chance it's malignant.
Fuck.
And I was like, oh God. And he was like, do you know what malignant means? And I was like, yes, Ryan, I know what malignant means. I was like, it's not good. And he was like, no, it's not good. And then he was, and he told me, he was like, you need to have brain surgery in like a day.
This is like within, 24, 48 hours of being at the optician?
I went for the optician's appointment on Monday morning. On Wednesday morning, I was being wheeled into the operating room to have brain surgery.
Fuck.